Hey guys, it's Sharon back with Little Britain Company, and today's project for Christmas in July I'm so excited about. It is easy. You don't have to have any special stuff to do it, just some decent glue and some really good wrapping paper. Super excited. Anyway, let me go ahead and first I will show you the Temu earrings of the day. I really like these. I think they're just so cute, and they'll go with a lot of different things. Let me know if you want me to start posting in my information part. Do you want me to start adding a link? If that's the word I'm looking for, a link. Would you like me to start putting a link to whatever earrings I'm wearing for the day? Let me know, and I will do my best to do that. Okay, ready? We today are going to make this adorable little notebook. Oh my word. I really love it. This is a little pocket. So if you wanted to, especially if you were going to give this to someone just for Christmas, you've got a little pocket back there. You could actually stick a gift card back there if you wanted to. It would make a really cute card, wouldn't it? Anyway, let me show you. If you had watched my previous, sorry, reach behind me. If you had watched my, some of my hauls way back at Christmas time, you would have seen me haul a whole bunch of different paper, but I hauled this one, which is by far one of my favorites, because oh my word, I looked at this and said, the ephemera I could pull off of this paper is just amazing. And that's all I was thinking about at the time when I got it. I was thinking, okay, that would just be amazing. I got to set it behind me so it doesn't unfurl. That would be amazing for ephemera. And I hadn't been thinking, I'm not going to camera in. I had not been thinking at the time about too much about using that one on other projects. Although I do sometimes use a good quality wrapping paper on different projects. I've done that before. This one is super special. This is going to be really quick and easy. So what I bought was a 3-pack of these composition notebooks. Now you can get these at Dollar Tree for $1.25. I think it's $1.25 for 2 or 3. They keep changing their numbers. Like it used to be 3 and maybe it's down to 2 now and you're still paying $1.25. But I think you can also get a 3-pack of these at Dollar General for $1. So, I'm going to use these today. I'm actually going to make a couple, and I'm going to, don't worry too much about trying to follow along with the, directions, numbers, dimensions. I'll post those below so that you get those. But if you're like me, because I like to see it in real time, just put on your closed captioning. I use closed captioning all the time because I have to. But just put on your closed captioning, and you'll be able to see the numbers as they come up. So let me get this one out of the way because I have our next project to show you. I've been working. I've been getting some things ready and I'm super excited. So this is not a Temu project, but it can be. So if you buy any wrapping paper from them, you can. I haven't even looked up. I don't know if they sell the little composition notebooks. I also do the bigger composition notebooks, which is also coming out this month. I'm super excited about it, about some of the different things I'm going to be showing you all. I think that's it. We're going to get started. I really am super excited about this. I have cut this big, this section. This is the other thing that I had asked about way back when, and back in December, I was still, kind of starting on YouTube, not on scrapbooking. I've been scrapbooking for 20 some years. And I've been doing some of this stuff for longer than I want to admit. Because my 33-year-old, I did a full set of scrapbooks for him, like the really intricate, detailed stuff. But now I've lost my train of thought. Oh, back when I started on YouTube, I had mentioned to my subscribers, my viewers, if you were interested in getting some of this, would you be interested in getting like a yard? Because I purchased several, and I purchased different kinds, and so I'm going to do some with this, and I'm probably going to do a few others. A few other little notebooks with some of the other paper, and I think hopefully I'll show them to you. You'll see them in the pictures. You like it when I do this? I'm like, this stuff over here, it's like I'm in Hawaii. I actually have a niece-in-law who is Hawaiian, wonderful, and she and my nephew's son is he grew up in Hawaii, and he's such a cool kid. He's not a kid anymore. He's in college now, but all right, moving on. Let's take a look at this gorgeous paper and decide what we're going to cut out. Okay, so I want you to be able to see what I see. Feels like a Christmas song. Do you see what I see? Sorry. And there's just so much here to work with. So I will tell you that I need to consider how much I need for the outside, because when we look at our little notebook, I have taken the paper and wrapped it up and around. So I want to make sure that I do an extra inch. You certainly don't have to. You could easily do a 1/2 inch on this. I did an extra inch. And you can see here I made a mistake with this one. And I won't make that mistake again. I didn't make it on this side, and it just has to do with the corner corner cropper that I'll be using. But I'll show you that then. So with this one, I want to make sure that I go enough across that I have that extra paper, but I don't have to. So here are my dimensions. I'm going to, for the front and back, I want to give myself a piece that is 4 by 6.5 inches, but I don't have to. I can make that smaller because this is, let's see. So let me move that out of the way for a second. So this little notebook is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is about 4.5 inches tall, which is why the 6.5 inches. So I could have an inch on either side. And I'm not measuring from here to here. I'm measuring from the edge of the black. Now, and that's going to be 1, 2, that's only 3 inches. I will say I have done plenty of these where I have changed this. There are lots of ways to do it. I've used the Cricut papers because there's the self-stick ones. Those work very well. I've actually glued on like a ribbon because it has more give to it. I've actually used a wide washi tape because once I attach it here, I can go ahead and when I glue on the other piece, it's going to hold that washi in place pretty permanently. I also sometimes do a little extra glue on that one. I've even painted these because this spine is almost material. So they actually work out fine if you're careful when you paint them, if you're careful not to get it too far over, because this little composition cover, this is not heavy duty. So if it gets too damp, if you're using like a watercolor, if this gets too damp, this is going to start to break down. Anyway, so there are lots of ways to do that. So let's take a look. Let's see. I was thinking that having this joy on the front would be cool. So what that's going to mean though is that I'm only going to have a 1/2 inch down below. But I don't want to lose my deer. I don't want to lose too much of my deer. All right. So I'm going to start by just by cutting across this. And this is the weird thing about if you're working with paper like this, or if you're working with this paper, it can be fussy. You know, you have to decide, what am I willing to lose? And what do I want to use, and what am I willing to lose? That, I love how I rhyme. Let's see if that'll stay. Stay there. Okay. All right. And I really wanted to use this joy here. Let me move in for a little. We don't need to be so far away. Okay, so I really want to use this joy. And when I cut this one out, I'm going to use some of the rest of this. I love this Santa. And I want to use some of the rest of this for the other part of it. So now the first thing I'm going to do, this is the very bottom of my page, or of my my paper. So I know that I have a relatively straight cut there. So when I start cutting, I know I've got something to cut with. I've got some kind of a straight edge. And if you don't, let me change this around for a second. Let's say you don't, you really don't have a straight edge, but you want one. And you want to figure out how to do that, and you're worried about lining it up. You can, of course, line it up on your paper however you want to, figure out your orientation. But I also have plenty of course, not right here in front of me. That would be wrong. I have the roller blade cutters. Y'all know my brain does not work sometimes. But anyway, yeah, the ones that roll. Oh my golly, what is the name of that? Y'all will tell me. Somebody's going to tell me that and remind me. But anyway, you could just easily take I would use a metal ruler, and you could line up a metal ruler and then just decide where your straight edge is going to be. And then you could cut it that way. Let me do that. Let me show you that way, because we've all used this one plenty of times, but that's a little different. Okay, I'm going to open up this rotary knife that I actually got at, I'm leaning over. I hope you can't see me. So I got this at Hobby Lobby. You can see I got an amazing deal on this one. This was when they were doing, clearancing out a whole bunch of their hobby things, which doesn't make sense to me, but I don't go to Hobby Lobby anywhere near as much as I used to since they changed over, and they have really made, they have so much less hobby materials, I guess you could say. Still go, and occasionally I still find great stuff. All right, so I hadn't opened this one yet. So it's a rotary cutter. There we go, all open. So here's really what I wanted to show you. There are many ways you can do it. If you have a mat like I do, then it's going to give me some really terrific options. Now, I want to make sure that I'm going to line it up so that I have some idea of what side, what I want. I want to make sure that I get as much of this in place as I can. I would love to not lose that Santa, but I think I'm going to. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if I go over 4, right about here. So I am using a metal ruler. I wouldn't, there we go. For me, when I'm cutting, if I'm cutting whether I'm cutting when I'm cutting paper, I have my really good other plastic rulers. But when I'm cutting paper, I don't know. I just think it's finicky. So now I have one good cut, and I can go ahead. I don't actually have to do, I don't need this part to be all that even, truthfully, because it's going to be hidden. So what I really do need, however, I need this part to be even. I need this edge because this is the edge that's going to line up. So truth be told, I don't need anything else to be even for this part, except the edge that's going to go next to that black. That one in here. And by the way, you can buy these little rotary cutters at Dollar Tree these days. So for $1.25, you can buy, it's like I think a 45-inch blade. It's a tiny one, or 45 mil, something like that. All right, so I've got my first piece. It's nice. It's relatively even. I'm going to put that one aside. You guys are just going to love how easy this is. Let's see. I'm going to get my whole joy. Okay. So Here's something else I'm considering. I don't really like this here without it also being on this side. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that off. And this time I'm just going to grab this guy. Sometimes your rotary cutter is also really good if your paper is thinner. I would not use a paper that is too, yeah, I got something on mine. It's driving me nuts. I need Gooby Gone. I would not use a very thin paper on this. I would use a high quality, definitely use a higher quality wrapping paper if you're using the wrapping paper. Only because thin paper is not going to hold up. It's not, it's not going to, it's going to rip when you try to cut it. It's going to just give you all sorts of problems. I just, that's just me. I'm just saying, I think that if you use it, you can buy really good quality paper. I think I got this particular paper for something like $2 a roller. It might have been $3.50 a roll or something, but it wasn't much. And for the amount that you get, holy cow. All right, for this one, I didn't really want to get over the edge there. For this one, the biggest thing for me is making sure that this line has enough glue on it. That's what's got to hold. That's where it can come up. So take this, I'm going to line it up. Perfect. All right. All right, and then right away, I'm going to use my bone folder. What the bone folder is doing for me here is it's getting rid of any of the, so you can't see the lines of glue. And it's going to dry. Look, a little tiny bit of glue there. That's okay. That's okay. That actually should come off with a little bit of a art eraser. However, be careful. It can rip. The other thing you can do with these, which I may do with these, is you can, once I've got it down, I could have used Mod Podge for all of it. I can Mod Podge over the top of it and give it like a harder surface so it will last longer. Because this is a great place to put, all sorts of little interesting sentiments. This is, you can throw this in your purse and carry it around at Christmas time as you find Christmas presents for people. It's just such a cute little guy. Okay, so why did I do that? Well, I want to make these nice mitered corners. And so I fold it over and then I'm cutting it down. And yeah, by the way, thank you all. So many of you were so lovely and gave me some wonderful feedback about what you want to see. When I did the last card series, the card one that I put together, the Victorian card, if you haven't seen it, you should. It's really cute. But when I did the cards, you all really said to me, we want to see you do it. We don't, don't fast forward it like that. We couldn't see anything. And we really wanted to see everything and to have you talk us through it. So, for better or worse, you got me now. I'm going to talk. No, I honestly appreciate the feedback. And while I'm on that, I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of people. I want to do a shout out to Terry. Thank you so much for your lovely compliment. She had sent me a message saying that in one of the videos I was glowing. I honestly do, I think like so many of us, I don't always feel good about how I look. So that was just really, really sweet. I really appreciated it. And anyway, so thank you so much to Terry. And I also want to give a shout out to Kate, who, and to, oh my golly, Kate and Terry and I have a wonderful friend out there, but she, her name is in French, and or at least the way I can identify. So, and I can't pronounce that. I wouldn't want to do that. And to all of you all who are leaving me such wonderful, detailed comments, I super duper appreciate it. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it, but like I said, a big shout out to all of you, but in particular, a couple of people, as I said, and Kate, who has been, I think, with me from the beginning, and always so wonderful, and just letting me know what's going well, and what I should be doing next. Okay, that's the front of our book. Now, I will tell you, there's plenty of things we can do to add to this. I actually have been considering whether I should add some embellishment to this, and I might. But I wanted to show you just the absolute simple, and then there are lots of ways to personalize it. But I also was thinking about, if I'm throwing this into my purse and I add embellishments to it, they're going to catch. So if it's not flat, but I can add a flat embellishment. So anyway, all right, so that is the front. I just think it's cute. It's just, I just really am loving the retro to it. Okay, for the back, just keep in mind for this one, I'm going to lose this season's greeting because there's not enough of it to wrap. So if I tried to keep the Christmas greeting on there, I would lose it. Instead, I'm going to go with Mr. Claus here. So let's take a look at, looks like this has come up a little bit. All right. There's a glitch in this one. And that's not honestly a big issue for those of us who do this, because, oh, now there's not a glitch. It's down. One thing to keep in mind if you're doing these is that this is mostly even, but it's not always. They're not actually lining it up to make it exactly even. If that bothers you, I would do something over the top of it to make it exactly straight. It doesn't usually bother me much, but if it does bother you, there are things you can do to make that straighter. And honestly, you can put this over the top. Other things, let's finish this up and I'll tell you some other things you can do with that. Now, I think that my Santa is pretty straight right here. I kind of like how he's disappearing into there. Now, he got a little crooked. He got a little bent down here. I don't know if you can see that. See that there was a bend in the paper? It's not going to matter one teensy tiny bit once he's on here, because we're just gonna flatten that out. And even if you could see that, this is meant to be retro. I could cut another piece, but I like the retro feel to it. And that just makes me, that just gives me, to me, even more. I'm just gonna, let's see. He's going to be like about there. So how much of this do I want to lose? Probably straight through the middle of Season's Greetings. Now I got to think for a minute. If I do him, how much of that would fold over? Now, I'm not going to do it with this one, but you may run into paper that you can fold directly over, and there is a way to work with that, and I can show you that later. If you want to see how to do that, if you wanted to fold it over and use the front and back, so to speak, of the paper piece that you're using, just let me know, and I'll add to the tutorial. All right. Y'all can see this is just so easy. Do make sure the one thing, and like I said, you don't have to be a big time crafter. You can do this with, I could tape this on with some decent double-sided tape. You don't have to have every little gadget to do this. And you know what I've used sometimes if I don't have a bone folder? A credit card. Just be careful. It can have sharp edges, and because we don't want it to cut anything. There, that's our back. Sorry. I'm over here cackling. It's not Halloween, Sharon. But I really love these. I just think that they're fun and sweet and easy. And I love, this paper that I love this paper. I'm definitely going to be making more of these for my craft fairs. And honestly, I don't think you'd have to charge a whole lot to actually make a decent profit on these. There we go. All right, so in the front, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and do these sides. I just want to make sure I match. I don't want to do this first and then those second, and it won't show up much, but it will show up a little bit. And in particular, I want to make sure that it sticks. All of my corners stick. I really probably shouldn't have done it all at one time, but this is all going to go together so super fast. Look at that. It's just... This is so quick. It's so fun. All right. Okay. We've got our little notebook together. We've got our cute little retro notebook together. Oh my word. So let's pick an image to go on the inside. Now the inside, what I did for this one, so that's something else. What I did for this one, because I really wanted to cover most of the inside, and these are so small, I don't need to worry about getting almost up to the edge here. I can get pretty stinking close. There are other things that I've done with this too. I've sometimes put washi tape on the inside, just up to the top here, and then I'll glue everything over the top of that, and it covers some of that. And the washi tape is so thin, it doesn't get in the way. So, but with this one, I actually could go all the way to the edge if I chose. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to get in the way of this. It's not going to make this not close properly like it would with a bigger composition notebook. Having said that, this piece is 4 3/8 by 3 1/4. Just to get it so it covers pretty much the inside. This piece I actually made a little bit smaller because I didn't have a big enough piece from what I had cut, but the rest of it was covered by this just plain piece, which I of course then made just a little pocket out of. I just like the idea of having a little pocket. So often I put them on the front and the back, but I was not covering up the cute deer. I just wasn't going to do it. They're just too cute. But again, this would be such a cool thing to give to somebody as, right before Christmas, to give this to them as a little present. If you know someone who has a birthday near Christmas. All right, my birthday is December 8th. It must be why I love Christmas so much, because my birthdays were always pretty Christmas themed. Because it was easier. I was the youngest of 9 children. I mean, my parents tried. They did. They were wonderful people. Anyway, but wouldn't that be cool if you have someone who has a birthday close to Christmas or right beforehand? Give them this little present, and then in the back you can slide a little card in, a gift card for something, and just something so sweet. Anyway, all right, so let's pick an image. Now it can be anything. I'm going to look at this. What do I have that I haven't used? I like this shiny one. I think I used that one before. And we've got the jingle bells here. And I've got this joyous Christmas up here. And I love this family. I will tell you, the entire family won't fit. I'm holding it down. That's how much would fit. All right. I'm just going to pick, honestly, for this one, I think I'm just going to pick a piece. Now, remember orientation. So if I pick this guy, I want him to be, well, this one's going to be cut exactly, so it's not going to be bent over. I'm thinking about bending over. That sounded really wrong. Okay, it's a good thing this is not a kid's channel. Wow, okay, I just threw myself completely for a loop. I want this candy cane. I think I want this candy cane in this one. So I'm gonna start by cutting a little bit off of there. This is all right, I'll tell you. The one thing about this, it's not the easiest thing to kind of deal with. And in this situation, I do need these to be spot on. So it's all decision making here. From here on out, it's all, I got most of that candy cane in there. I like the joyous Christmas. We'll see if we can, I don't think it's all going to fit, but I only cut part of it. All right, right, now I'm going to cut down from here. If I can line that up. Oh, pretty close. All right, I know I've got a straight edge there, so I'm going to line that up. You can see, if you can see that I'm lining it up here. No, Sharon, that doesn't work. This won't close. All right. And so this, because I'm really being fussy about how I cut this paper. So this is where we go ahead and we grab this. And this is the way that I can actually get more specifically without losing, like I don't necessarily want to lose the sleigh. I'm being very fussy. I'm gonna line that up. All right. There we go. Now I've got a piece I can work with. That is the one thing about wrapping paper, if it's like this. Trying to be fussy with it is not always easy. Okay, so I said that I really wanted the candy cane. We'll see. It's got to be, it's only 3 1/4 inches this way. And 3 1/4 inches is gonna drop me somewhere through here. I'll lose the Joyous Christmas, or will it? Let's see. You guys would not believe what's in my way here. All sorts of stuff. All right. So if I cut off a little bit of the candy cane, I might, no, I can't. All right, we're just gonna go with this. All right, at least now I have a piece of paper I can work with. So it needs to be 4 3/8 of an inch in this direction. We're gonna grab this again. And I said 4 3/8. 4 3/8. Let's see. I've just got to align it. 4 3/8 should be right about there. Oh, I'm cutting off Santa's head. All right. I'm actually going to try to salvage Santa's head. And I know it's going to make it smaller. This is crazy stuff here. All right. And then we've got, what is this? 3 1/4. Right about there. So I'll keep the candy cane. I'll keep a little bit of the Joyous. I'll at least get Joy. All right. There we go. You almost think I'm Sharon, you're just being crazy. Just lose that part, but I can't. I just can't. Good. There's a lot of this paper. All right. So, oh, and I actually cut it too big. How did I do that? 3 1/4. Okay, so my length is fine, but my width is too much. How did I do that? It must have been 3 1/8. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to trim 1/8 of an inch. Make sure I got that down right. I think I went fast. I'm not sure. All right, 3 1/8. I did go fast. Okay. Luckily, I got a sharp blade on this. Okay. Cute. All right. I'm going to go back through. I'm going to go ahead and round my corners. And remember what side. I mean, take another look. I only went around these 2 corners. And with this one, I'm actually going to use, well, I guess I'll use the repetitive one. So remember which, you know, just double check. Look at this one again. I will say, there we go. The wrapping paper can be, oh, that's cute. Okay, a little fidgety, but not bad. All right, for this one, remember with the last one, I put the glue directly on the book. For this one, I'm going to put the glue directly on the wrapping paper because I don't know if I can get it in enough. Now, I'm not putting it directly on the edge. I'm putting it pretty close to the edge, but not directly on the edge. And the reason for that is when I burnish, that glue is going to move around. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to end up with glue spilling out on the sides. And I don't want that. All right. Yeah. And my glue has reached all of it. That's our inside. So cute. All right. Now I've got to decide what I'm doing with the back one. I need another piece of paper because now, yes and no. I could just do a half sheet right here. And the reason I could do a half sheet right here is because I'm going to put a little folder piece on there. So I could just, this is what we were talking about before. I could just add that. I could cut at those sections and I could add this piece right there. And then my folder will go on there. Now, normally I would add another piece exactly the same size as I just told you, but I like the way this is looking. I like being able to get the whole thing in. I'm going to go ahead and use my Temu Perpetual pencil, and I'm going to mark off kind of where I need to cut this here and where I need to cut that there. All right, I'm going to do a little piecing here. And I've got to be able to see it. It's a close thing. My fingers are sticky. That's probably not great, but that's okay. All right. Now, this notebook is so forgiving, especially the way we're doing it. We're going to go ahead and put this one down. It's all about the creative process. Okay. I was thinking people earlier, really, I should make a big old list. Now, if you stay to the very end, I will show you what the next project's going to be, and I think you're going to like it. Oh, just right there. The wonderful thing about glue. Look at that. Look at that. I'm so excited. All right, now I have some scraps. These are actually scraps from the cards that I was making the other day. So I'm going to go ahead and make this, you know, a fairly long piece because it's going to go here. Now, after doing all that and making that Christmas, you're not even seeing it. But I could also cut this back a little bit so you could see it. And you could also do some kind of a die cut along here to make it even fancier. There's so many things you can do with these to take them like next level, guys. They can be so much next level. Let me just knock some stuff over here. All right, so again, this one's got to be 4 3/8 right there. Whoa, I just lost the top when it dropped. So let me put that right over here instead of throwing it back where I had it, and I'll find my top. Golly. Okay. So for the inside, I'm gonna actually use the this one's a little rounder. Why in the world? That was weird. That doesn't want to cut. There we go. Something must have been stuck in there. Okay, and I almost forgot. I haven't gotten there. Let's go ahead and do the do these corners. Cute. Okay. And this little guy is just going to go right about there. So sweet. I could bring him up a little bit more. I'm going to do that. All right. Easy peasy. So I'm only going to put my glue, went over the edge there, up to where that corner starts. I don't want to put it over the corner. If I put it over the corner, I'm probably going to glue down more than I want glued down. Okay. There we go. That's it. And again, there are other things you can do. Now, the couple of things that I wanted to share with you, things that you could do with this. If I was going to add something, depending on how the person's going to use it, I'm considering that someone may probably throw this in and out of their purse. I could Mod Podge the top of it with a nice clear coat to make it so that it would be, and I would use a really thin coat of it, but that is going to give it some true protection against coming in and out of a purse. I might add some embellishment along here. I can do it on the inside or the outside, depending on what I'm using. You know, there are some things that work really well. I could have done that before. You can do it afterwards too. I could also just take a piece of ribbon and then glue it along the inside and then coming here and then wrap it right there. Just add a cute little additional embellishment. And I may do that on some of these and show you later. I would add a flat sticker, but it depends on, you know, your people. So whoever you're going to give it to, or whether it's just for you, you could actually add something that kind of pops a little bit more. I could have put something else on the inside here. If I was going to use a ribbon, I could actually take the ribbon and go straight down along here if it's thin. And then on the outside, just make sure you're gluing it down as you go. Gently tie it in place, and then go ahead and, you know, just make sure that your glue is going to work for you there. You could also put another pocket on the inside. You've got your pocket on the outside. You don't have to. You could do a flat ribbon on the back. I wouldn't tie it, but I could do like just a plain flat ribbon all the way around, glue that down once this is on, glue it down here, and then go ahead and add the other pieces to it. Okay. So much you can do with this cute little thing. So this, you know, this cost me anywhere from 40, maybe 42 cents to 33 cents just for this piece. And then probably pennies for the, you know, when you really look at the amount of wrapping paper that I have. And it's just so stinking cute. I love these vintagey ones. Anyway. That's it. I mean, if you really want to make it fancy, you can even add like a file piece on the inside to sort of flip through. I've got the little Temu die cut you could do with that. So here's the two we made. Well, I made this one. We made this one together. And I love them. Y'all let me know what you think. Do you like them? Do you think it'd be fun to make? And again, this is something anyone can make. Do watch the corner You don't want to use the wider corner like I did on this one. I mean, unless you like that sort of peekaboo look. And you could also add another sheet here. This is so, here's the other thing I forgot to say. Here's something that you could do. Instead of adding this, I could have created out of like a heavy duty cardstock, like a little file piece, glued down half of it so I actually have an extra piece of paper, and then made that into a full pocket and had that peek out from behind here with something else. So many. I may do some of those. Let me know if you want me to take this and take it to the next level in another video. I would love to do that. And oh, I promised you a sneak peek. So here is the sneak peek for the next Christmas in July. What do you think? I love it. Okay, there's your sneak peek. End of video. Thank you guys for being with me today. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. And I will see you next time. Cheers.